Hello and welcome. Today we are in the Tier 10 US battleship, the Vermont. We're done with the Minnesota, so we're up to the large one. The Vermont is the crowning jewel of the US Mega Dreadnought line. She is tall, she is strong, and she is very thick. We're playing a match on the map Okinawa. I spawned in the middle, so I just headed closer to the middle of the map again, because I want to be closer to the enemy to be able to actually shoot someone and have a chance that my shells land in the same zip code. Because shells do take quite a while to get there. You might notice I have 24.5 kilometer range. That's less than I had on my Minnesota. That's because I don't use the range upgrade. I find it a bit unnecessary considering I have a scout plane on top of the 24.5 kilometer range. The problem is more with these shells taking an eternity to arrive rather than actual limitations on range. Now that we roughly know where the enemies are, I think it makes sense to go more towards the eastern side of the map, because people on this map really like going to the A cap, particularly when they're the red team. That is, I don't mean the enemy, but when they spawn on that side of the map. Because there's a big island that gives you cover around the A cap, and this map is, well, it really feels a bit barren, because there just isn't enough cover for the way people are usually used to playing. And so, usually ships concentrate over on that side, and I think it makes sense to reinforce C and win that harder, so that we can then hold it and then prevent the enemy from retaking the B cap, or potentially retake the B cap ourselves. Usually what I see happening on this map is that the teams kind of divide the map in two based on the two islands in the B cap. One team takes one side, the other team takes the other side, obviously unless things fall apart elsewhere. Also, oh wow, they actually have a second destroyer in the C cap as well. The Holland. Oh, and our Z-52 is doing great against her. Maybe I should have taken a shot on the Holland, although it seems that it might be unnecessary after all. Oh, these shells are looking good on the Montana. Oh yeah. Really? Not a single hit? Not even an over-penetration? Okay. Well then, I guess it wouldn't have mattered who I aimed at, because that salvo was apparently fated to miss anyway. I'm gonna advance here though, because the enemy has lost all their destroyers on this side of the map. I mean, we know where both of the enemy DDs are, and they aren't here, so I don't have to worry about torpedoes or anything like that. Ooh, and the Minotaur is backing off. Maybe we can get some damage there. Minotaurs are notoriously squishy. Come on. Well, 2 shell hits, 12,000 damage. That is acceptable. If we can take out the Yoshino and the 2 Montanas, then that, especially if we could take them out quickly, then we can support our teammates at the A cap. But we'll have to see when that happens. Because I do think we're gonna win over here. I mean, we have a Vermont, a Montana, a Conqueror, a Petropavlovsk, a Des Moines, a Z-52. Khabarovsk is leaving, but that's alright. Oh, and the enemies don't seem to be positioning too well over there. I mean, look, that Montana is still sailing broadside. I mean, sure, she's 19 kilometers away, but come on, man. I might still deal some damage, right? And Yoshino is kind of in a corner. The closer she gets, the more damage she's gonna start taking. Ooh, 35k damage, just like that to that Montana. A third of her HP gone, just like that. Yeah, you shouldn't have shown broadside, huh? Okay, I'd really like to fire. Oh, Minotaur! Minotaur! And she's opened up. She's gonna slow down. She's gonna smoke and keep shelling over there. That's what she's gonna do. I'm just gonna keep my mouse pointed over where the Minotaur was and fire. Because that's her last known position, and she stopped for a smoke screen. Chances are we're still gonna hit her. And hit her we did.
We've destroyed an enemy cruiser.
3 citadels. Goodbye, Minotaur. Thank you for the damage. And one of the Montanas actually went down over here, so now it's the Yoshino and the second Montana. Priority is gonna be on the Yoshino, because Yoshino... we can overmatch Yoshino, which means that she'll go down way quicker, despite the fact that she might have about the same HP as the Montana does, but she'll go down way quicker because of the lack of armor. I do have to worry a little bit about Yoshino torpedoes, but I mean, even if I get hit by them, I'm not gonna go down from them. But anyway, that Minotaur made a huge mistake. She started firing before she used the smoke screen. And that's why it's a risky maneuver, because somebody might take a look at where you were and then fire based on it. I mean, if I was a regular battleship, I would have, you know, put that shot in the air when I was still locked on, which would have been even deadlier to that Minotaur. I say a regular battleship because the Vermont does have a fairly long reload. Yep, Yoshino's gone. I think this Yoshino really should have turned around and backed off. In fact, I think the enemy team over here should have turned around and back off. They shouldn't have forced the issue here, because they don't have anything to gain by pushing with inferior forces on this side. Because they're gonna lose, obviously. And it would have been better for them to just back off and flank us from afar, and then come back in again if we either don't chase them or decide to focus on the other side. There are the Yoshino torpedoes. I'm gonna take one of these. But Montana is showing broadside, so it'll be alright. Use damage control party for the fire and the potential flooding, and yeah, oh, a citadel hit, nice. I could bring all my guns to bear at this moment, but I'm gonna stay angled slightly, because the Montana is firing. But now that she has finished firing, I can bring all my guns to bear, and it'll be good night to that Montana. Goodbye.
Enemy battleship sunk.
Well, now it's only the enemies left on the other side. Oh, and they're down to 20 points. If they lose a single ship, game ends right there. Okay, we lost the ship, so I guess the game doesn't end right there. It's alright though. I'm gonna advance north and hopefully be in a flanking position. I mean, look at where our ships are, right? We might have ships near the A-cap still, but chances are they aren't gonna win that outright anytime soon, and we will be in position to be able to assist them. Now think about it, if I were a faster battleship, I could actually get to a flanking position way quicker than with this ship. And I think that's one of the biggest downsides of the mega dreadnoughts the Americans have. Speed is just, it's something that's really hard to undervalue. And to make up for that you need huge advantages. And I think the line generally doesn't have them. The Vermont isn't a bad ship, of course. She's absolutely on par with other tier 10 ships. Definitely not the best, but definitely up there. But I'm not sure if the speed will ever make her good enough, I suppose. Because it'll take me a long time to get close now. And this kind of stuff is kind of important. Although in this match it wasn't as important, but imagine if I were on the enemy team and went along with one of the Montanas. See, in this case I criticized the enemy for not backing off, right? Because they could have. But if they had been in a Vermont, I don't think they could have backed off. Because obviously they'd be too slow. Come on, Stalingrad? I think, yeah, she's too fast. Damn it. I would have needed more lead on that one. Oh, and the Smolensk. Okay, no, we're gonna focus on the Stalingrad. Come on. She has 6k HP. It's possible it'll work. Come on, Stalingrad. Next salvo is gonna be on the Smolensk, because Stalingrad's gonna be down by that time anyway. Aw, Yamato got the Stalingrad. I don't know. Did my shells just miss or something? That's a bit unfortunate. They still have a destroyer, but again, one destroyer and the Smolensk aren't gonna do it. 4 battleships, and they have 55 seconds. Actually, if they lose this Smolensk, then the game ends too. Teammate told me to go for the Kraken. I'd really like to, but again, my ship is a bit slow, and the shells also take a while to get somewhere. So unfortunately, I think it's unlikely I'm gonna get this. It's obviously possible that I get a Citadel, and that would finish the job, but I think chances are I'm just gonna miss, because the shells just take too long to go there. When Smolensk has smoked, so we can't do that anyway. I'm gonna wait until she reappears. Maybe we'll have more chance with all guns firing. Because obviously... Actually, no, I wanted to say we can't see her either, but it's possible that she sees us, right? Because the Shimakaze could give spotting. But then again, we would see the cruiser firing. I should launch my scout plane. Because if the cruiser does fire, it'll be easier to spot where she is in the water. Oh, there she is. Oh, she's reversing, so she'll start advancing, right? That's what everyone does. You accidentally reverse out of the smoke, you accelerate to get back into it. So I'm gonna lead slightly. Wait, did she not stop reversing? Oh, come on! Come on! Smolensk, who does that? Why would you not stop reversing immediately? Come on, who does that? Seriously, Smolensk, seriously. Well played, I guess. Well played. I really did not see that coming. I was sure he was gonna go forward. I guess what I should have done is I should have fired 2 guns as she was reversing and 2 guns in case she was gonna go forward. Oh well, it is what it is. But still a pretty good Vermont game. 2100 base XP, 161k damage. We tanked a little bit and did all these battleship things. But it was only a 12-minute battle. Still, it felt like it was a lot longer. I mean, the kind of ending that you got, that was like real endgame type ending. Look at that, by the way. I did 54k damage to that Montana in 13 shells, right? And she did 23k damage to, or 26k damage to me in 23 shells. So she did about, what, 1000 damage per shell. I did like, what, 4000 damage in return. Yeah, that sounds fair. And obviously, this is why you angle. Oh yeah, I should compliment the Smolensk too, right? Yeah. Captain skills and upgrades. So emergency repair specialist, grease the gears, adrenaline rush, concealment expert, then whatever the new survivability expert is, emergency repair expert. Then I'm slightly different with Deadeye instead of fire prevention, and last basics of survivability. So I think once they nerf Deadeye, I'm gonna go for fire prevention. Upgrades wise, it is artillery plotting room for the dispersion. I'm not really sure if this is better than reload. I assume it is, but maybe it isn't. I don't know. Then concealment, propulsion modification, because I have basics of survivability. If I didn't, I'd go for damage control. Here I'm using the turret traverse one, because I already have 24.5 kilometer range. I mean, plus a scout plane, I don't think it makes sense to go for more range. Then damage control, and main arts modification 1. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would like to thank the patrons on Patreon. Thank you very much for your continued support, and I hope I'll see you guys next time.